Okay, cool. Um, as I was saying, in script, the script tag contains all of your JavaScript code, which we'll all get into later. But you can see that um, there's some Vue things that are like pretty specific to Vue. You have to export default an object, and then that object contains all of your like Vue functions. But we'll go into more detail there. Guest user requests to join the collaboration session. Uh, sure. Just don't delete everything, please. Okay, cool.
Right, we walk right into that one.
All right, and then finally, the third most important tag in Vue is the style. Now, style, as you might guess, contains all of your CSS, like your cascading style sheets. And in here, you can just write normal CSS, like P color, like red. I don't know. Um, and you can see in our website that the paragraph text is now a soothing crimson. All right, and yeah, so that's those are the three basic Vue tags right there. You have your template, your script, and your style. Okay. Next, we'll be going over variables. So, I did say that we'll get in a bit more into detail about the JavaScript inside Vue. So, you should have this code right here, export default object, and then you need to have a function, data, that returns an object. And then inside this object, you can declare like any variables. So for example, let's create a variable called username, and you can like assign some string to it, like J. And the cool thing about variables is that you can directly display those variables inside your HTML. So for example, like I can just, instead of saying hi clockhax, I can just say hi, and then you open two brackets like this. It's double curly braces, and then inside you put a variable name, like username. And then if you look in our website, it will say hi J instead of hi clockhax. Essentially, these double brackets right here, they mean, okay, I'm going to put some JavaScript inside of these double brackets, and it's going to display whatever this expression resolves to. So for example, I can even do hi username dot to uppercase, and it will say hi J instead of hi J. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the return statement here is basically required by Vue. Like Vue has its own like structure, so to speak, and you need to return an object containing all of your like variables in the data function. Does that answer your question? Like, if not, yeah. Okay, yeah. And also, just to make it a bit more clear, you don't have to just have one variable. You can have multiple variables. You can use your name to Bob, um, whatever you want to call this variable. Uh, and they don't have to be strings either. Like, 31 here, for example. All right, cool. So, does anyone have any questions about this stuff? Do you understand how these two double nested brackets work? Okay. No one has any questions? Cool. Uh, no, you'd have to like use the HTML like alias, like HTML alias for bracket. I don't remember it from off the top of my head, but you can. I think there should be. Let me try and find it. Like you know the sort of like and like and then weird characters and then like a semicolon, those kind of characters. Yeah, those, you would have to use those instead. It's not regex. It's like HTML, escape characters. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, these. So you have like and then some characters and then like semicolon. So specifically to your question, a bracket F would be and uh like hashtag 123 and then a semicolon. So let me just copy that to demonstrate. Like VS Code also recognizes this. That's why it's like golden right here. But it's an escape character, which means HTML will automatically recognize what it means, and you can see that it can display it as a bracket. Yeah, so that's how you display like escape characters in HTML. All right, cool. Next we will go over dynamic binding with vbind. So, I'm sure like all of you know what divs are. Divs are like, I don't even know what they are. They're like sections of content, I guess. They're a
Divider.
divider. I'm not really sure if it does mean divider. It could be. Although I'm not really sure. Like you can put like yeah, divs are like a really common HTML tag, and you can put stuff in here. So hello and then username. So this is pretty much what we had before. And what I want to show you is dynamic binding. So as an example, let's say we have an ID or div that we need to use for our like CSS as an example. So let's call this like my div. Then we can say, okay, my div, hashtag my div, color red, and it will color red, or we can say color green. This is just an ID. If you've used CSS before, then you're probably familiar with this stuff. Now, what's cool in Vue is that you can use something called vbind and then a colon. And what it means is, okay, at runtime, we're going to evaluate whatever in these quotation marks, and then that will be the ID. So for example, I can make it username dot to lowercase. All right. Vbind ID equals username dot to lowercase. What that means is the ID is just going to be equal to the lowercase username. That's like what it means. And if you inspect element here in the HTML, you could see that it says ID equals J. See that? Hope it's not too small, but like it says div ID equals J, hello J right here. And that's because username dot to lowercase, that's J dot to lowercase is just J. And so it says div ID equals J. So those are dynamic binding, where you can tell Vue to resolve like a JavaScript expression to be like a tag in your HTML. So,
That's supposed to happen.
and also one other cool thing is that you can omit the vbind text. You can just have a colon in front of whatever you're talking about, and then it will like, instead of just having this raw text, it will evaluate it as JavaScript. So that's what the little colon is for. It means like this text right here inside the quotation marks, they aren't like it's not just text. It's like JavaScript. So yeah. And to make it a bit obvious, if we color like the J to be green, then you can see here it's green. Hello J. Anyone have any questions about that? It means division, which makes no sense. Really? Okay. That's interesting. Alright. No one has any questions, so I will keep going. Now, we just talked a lot about how like you can use JavaScript inside your HTML. But like a common question is like why the heck do you care? Like why would you ever need to use JavaScript in your tags? And that's a really good question. Now the reason you want to do that is, for example, if you have like a button, okay, and let's say you have
But
your
then for this one,
val,
it says
whatever,
that's not used.
and then you want it to, let's say you want your button to display the number of times that it has been clicked. So the val can be like, I don't know, let's rename this variable real quick to like num clicks. Oops, someone just tried join. Alright, so num clicks is a variable that I made. Now let's say we have a button, val equals num clicks, and actually let's first go over like something else. Before we talk about why dynamic binding is useful, let's go over how to handle like button clicks. So if you use normal HTML before, you know that like you can do on click equals, and then you can like put a function in here to tell it like what to do if it's clicked. In Vue, however, you do @click, and in here you can pass a JavaScript function. So for example, we can make it print hello world. And we're gonna have to use these quotations instead. Okay, hello world. I think you have to write this on console.log. Alright, so, whoops, element is missing end tag. Oh, right. So for Vue buttons, you have to have like a little slash right before the end tag. I think that works. Alright, so we have a little button. Let me just, I think we might need text in here. Alright, that looks better. So we have a button that says click me. And when we click it, it will print, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Alright, there we go. So when you click it, it will print hello world to the console. Like so. See how I'm pressing it many times and it's saying hello world in the console. So that's how you like tell a button to do something when it's clicked in Vue. Does anyone have any questions up to right here before we continue? Sure. So we have a button. I don't think this will matter. @click equals, and then you have like parentheses. This is a lambda function, by the way. This is a function. It just says when it's clicked, console.log hello world. And then we have some text in the button. Yeah. Good, or can I continue? Okay, yeah. I really quickly added like this console variable right here. Um, it might not be the best way to do it, but it's just I just use it as a temporary way to print something to the console when you click the button. So like if you write console console here in data, then you can say console.log up here.
It works when I put it outside of it.
All right. Okay, I'm going to continue. So instead of printing hello world, what you can do is you can say num clicks plus plus. And then instead of saying click me, we can like print this button has been clicked, and then we can say num clicks times. And let's hope that works. 31 times, and if you click it again, it says 32. So now we have basically cookie clicker. So
That was a good one.
yeah. Uh, so just to like summarize, what we've done is we've made the button increase a variable by 1 whenever you click the button. And then inside the button, we display the number of times it's been clicked. So let's make numClicks 0 instead of 31. numClicks 0. And now it will count how many times you've clicked the button. Amazing. This is like peak programming right here.
So true.
Okay. Let's move on. Next thing I'm going to talk about is components. So, right now, like, so far all we've done is like write code in one file, but if you just look to the left in the file explorer, like we have a bunch of folders everywhere, and we've not touched any of them before. What you'll notice right away is that you have like these these three files called hello world.view, the welcome.view, and welcome item.view. These things are files that were auto-generated by the Vue CLI when you ran npm init Vue in the console. So these are like auto-generated files, and the way you use them is really cool. So just to like, okay, so to use these components, we have to import them into the component that we want to use them in. So how we do that is import hello world view from .components/hello world.view. And this is like this is very similar to just normal import statements in JavaScript. You just import it from hello world.view. And then in the script, we want to define the components that we'll use. So components, and then just paste in hello world view. And then once you've done that, you can start using hello world view as if it was like a normal HTML tag. So we can write, hello world view, and then like you can see that it says you've successfully created a product with v plus view 3. So hello world view is the component that we just imported, and we sort of just pasted it into our app.view, and now it will just display this component. So it will display whatever in hello world.view, which and it just says you've successfully created a project. So that's how you use components, and you can make your own components. Like for example, what do we call our component? Like, I don't know, a very cool button.view. And let's just like make that button, paste it in here. Template, script. I'm just like copying code right now. Okay, cool. So I just made a file called a very cool button.view. Just like in app.view, you have to have a template and a script, and optionally a style, which you don't have to have, by the way. And what you can do is instead of like writing all this code inside app.view, we can just import a very oh shoot, I have to import it first. Import a very hold on, something went wrong. Import. So very cool button from /components slash a very cool button.view. And then if you put in here components, you'll be able to use this component like so. And look at that, we have the button just as we did before. And just for like if I comment it out, the button's gone. But if you uncomment it, there we go, we have a cool button. Alright, anyone have any questions about the components? So I'm just gonna quickly summarize again. So what I did was I have a bunch of components here in the components folder, and inside app.view I can import those components, like so. Import a very cool button from /components / a very cool button.view, and then you also have to like repeat that name inside your components object here in the script. and then you can start using the
I'm making progress.
component,
I'm
like
making headway.
almost as if it's a normal HTML tag, just inside your template. So yeah. If you have any
It's actually
questions,
incredibly complex.
if you have any questions, just interrupt me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you single?
Yes. But I'm not looking for anyone right now.
Fine, be that way.
Alright, cool. Moving on to.
Do you have a reason
Okay.
why?
No. I'm making a workshop on Vue right now. Alright, now let's make a cool to-do list. Like a very simple app. And yeah. So what we'll first do is let's make, instead of having a button, let's delete the useless components because we don't need these anymore. We don't need the icons either. Just delete everything. Everything. Get out of here.
Dude, Jeffrey wants to
Delete. Okay, cool. Now let's make a component called task.view. And it's just gonna like, it'll display some stuff like I haven't named the variables yet, but let's have a script as well, and let's just say data return, let's just say let's have a variable called, I don't know, it's called text. Some placeholder text. Let's just display that text in the task.view template. And then inside app, instead of having like these stupid components, let's import task. /components/task.view. And again, you have to restate the task here inside components. And let's just say we have a task here. And oh no, it's not displaying. Task. This is native custom component. Make sure to exclude. Task. I'm not sure what's going wrong. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just had to refresh the page. Some placeholder text. So as you can see, we are displaying the little task there. You know what? Let's make it look a bit better. So let's have a style, and we can just wrap this. No. So let's wrap it in a div. Call this ID equals div ID equals task, and let's give the task some styling, shall we? Task. Let's give it like a border. Border 1 pixel. Does that have a border? No. Background color. Let's make it like gray or something. Okay, there we go. We have some background. We can have some padding as well. Padding. Let's make it like 10 pixels. There we go. Rounded. Wait. Border. Radius 5 pixels. And we have like a nice rounded task right here. You know what? I'm gonna make the background color white. Wait. Before we continue, does anyone have any questions about anything? No? Okay. Cool. So, what we've done just then is we just created a component called task. And we're just sort of beautifying it right here. And then, we can display a bunch of tasks if we want. Like, that's 4 tasks right there. Oh, let's add some margin. margin, I don't know, 5 pixels. Okay, cool. So we have a couple of tasks here. Now, you might have realized that this website is not very useful. Like, I literally can't do anything on this website. So, let's have a little, like, checkbox here. So, button, type equals, I don't know, checkbox? Is that a, okay, so we have a little check, oh, how do you, I don't remember how to make a checkbox button, so I'm just gonna search it up. Oh, it's an input. Okay. Input type equals checkbox. Invalid end tag. Right. Inputs are not supposed to have end tags. So yeah, now we have a checkbox which you can check, and already this is like looking a lot more useful. Cool. And let's do something like really cool. So let's have a done variable. Done. Let's make it false. And what you can do is you can tell the input vModel vModel equals done. And what this means is, oh, by the way, like having a v dash like right before your like any tag, just if there's a v dash in front of it, then that means it's like a view specific like special tag. So what vModel equals done means is always assign the value of this input to the variable done. Like have a two-way bind from the input to your variable. And just to demonstrate this, let's also display whether it's done or not. So text and then done. And you can see that right now it says some placeholder text false, and that means right now it is not done. But once we check the checkbox, it's going to say true. And that's because vModel equals done means that like whenever you change the input, it's going to change the variable as well. So it will toggle the done variable. And then we're just displaying that variable here. So yeah. What I've just done is like I bound the checkbox to a variable, and I'm displaying that variable in the task. Does everyone understand so far? If you see anything wrong, just like tell me. Okay, cool. And let's also I'm not gonna display the done variable here, but let's just say vModel or no. Well, let's bind a variable. Let's bind a class to be well, let's say that if it's done, then we'll bind a class. Like done question mark. Like done. Otherwise, nothing. So what this means is, if the done variable is true, then this div will have a class done, and otherwise it will not have a class. And let's just apply some CSS to the class. Dot done, and then let's make it like strike through. How do you do that? HTML strike through. Strike tag. CSS. Oh, text decoration. Strike through. I hope that works. Nope, it does not work. Text decoration. Oh, line through. Line through. Wait, what? I did write line through. Wait, does this work? Oh, it does. Oh, okay. I think Jeffrey changed it for me. Thank you, Jeffrey. Absolute lifesaver. So yeah, now we made it so that whenever you check the box, it will have a strike through, which All right. Now, although our website is interactable now, it's still not very useful.
Interactive.
Uh, it's still not very useful because you can't even edit your tasks. They all just say some placeholder text. And that's where props come in. So what I mean by props are like the things that you pass into an HTML tag. So for example, some built-in props, like button, are like ID something something. You can have, I don't know, class. That's also a prop. You can have type for buttons. Uh, you can have like, I don't know. There are a lot of like default HTML tags. Or I mean not tags, like attributes. And those and attributes and props are pretty much synonymous. Like they mean the same thing. So props, are just things that you pass into the tag. However, the difference is that props only apply to your custom elements. So, like what I mean is you can pass in attributes here, like props, into your custom elements. So what I want to do is, let's say I want the task to say like text equals uh, do the or fold the laundry. 'Cause it's task, Now the way we would define a prop in Vue is to open a props little object here. Oh, not that one. Props. Oh, it's not working. No. Okay, whatever. Props. And inside your props object, you define the props that you want to expose. So, for example, I can say text, and then you have to give a type as well, like string, for example. So, what this means is your task is defining a prop called text. You know what? Let's call this. Okay, let's call this variable like text bar, so we don't mix it up. But actually, we don't even need this text var variable anymore. We can just use the prop directly. So here we have a text prop, or a prop called text, and it's a type string. And then here in the template, we are displaying that text prop. So let's see it in action. If whoa, what the heck happened here? Export default data. Okay. So yeah, so here you can see that like we have a prop for the first task object, and we called it fold the laundry, and then inside your task.view component, you display the text prop, and so that's exactly what we're seeing here. You know what? Let's add a few exclamation marks. Fold the laundry. Nice. Now, this is a little bit more useful than what we had before because you can have different tasks that say useful things instead of just like useful things instead of just some placeholder text. And also, I think Jeffrey added some other CSS stuff. So now when you toggle the tasks, it will also change the background color. Let's see the code right here. Yeah, so done. We have opacity 0.5. All right, cool. All right, next, let's add a way for our user to add more tasks. Now, this is a little bit tricky because we'll need to have like a text input section right here, and then we'll need to have like a plus button on the side, and then we need it to create a new task. So this is what we're gonna do. First, let's have a variable that's just like an array of tasks. Let's call it tasks, and it's an empty array at the start. And then instead of just 4 tasks, like using hard coding, let's loop through the tasks array and display a task for each task. Display a task for each task. So the way you do that in Vue is you can do this. So you can have task, or actually, let's wrap it in div. Like div. Okay, sure. I'll hurry up. So we have div, and let's do v4. So this is like a for loop inside Vue for task of tasks. And we display a task here, and text equals task. So yeah, right now this is displaying 0 tasks because our tasks array is empty. But let's add in like do the laundry. All right, this is supposed to say we're supposed to bind the task object. So instead of just having the raw task, we want to like evaluate the JavaScript basically, and have like we want to bind the text. So now it says do the laundry instead of like task. And we can have I don't know, tasks vacuum the floor. I know I spelled it wrong. Shut up. And yeah, so we have a list of stuff. You can add your tasks here, and they'll all display right here. Call ends 9 minutes. Okay, that's fine. All right. Now let's really quickly in the last like 8 minutes, let's add a input where our user can input some input a new task and then have a button that creates that task. So we have an input type equals text, and let's say vModel equals your new task name. So what I'm saying here is, oh right, we need a variable new task name, which is empty by default. Vmodel equals new task name. So we have an input right here. You can type stuff, and whoops. Okay. And let's have a button. I'm not gonna style this because I don't have any time. So let's have a button, and like add. So yeah, now we have an add button which currently does nothing. And so we can say @click equals, and then you can define a function. What's cool about like Vue is that you also have a section in your script called methods, I think. Yeah, methods. And you can have add a task. Like you can define JavaScript methods in here. So let's say @click equals add task. So that means when it's clicked, run this function add task. And let's just say okay, tasks dot this dot tasks dot push, yeah, push, and then add this dot new task name. So what we're doing is we're adding the new task name into our list of tasks, and then we want to clear our new task name, so we make it empty again. So a new task. Yay, it works. So we can type the name of our new task. Join the Vue workshop. And then when I press add, it will run the function add task, which means it will add your new task name into the array of tasks, right? That's what push means. And then we also clear the new task name to be empty. So like every time you press add, the input here is cleared. And just to like show you what happens if we don't have this line, if you have like, hi, and you press add, then it will still say hi in your text input. So that's why we set the new task name to be empty whenever you press add. Okay, cool. That's pretty much the entire workshop. So if you have any questions, definitely ask me now. Otherwise, like that's pretty much it. You guys can you guys can either leave or you guys can watch me do some more shenanigans in Vue. For example,
watch you.
you want to watch me do random shenanigans with Vue? Yeah. Sure. Okay. What do I call this? Like make everything. Okay. Okay. push to GitHub. Okay. Actually, one more thing that I want to show is how to install new packages. So, for example, let's say you want to call an API when you press a button or something. So let's say you want to install Axios. So you can do npm install Axios, right? This will take a bit to run, but you're installing a new package. Okay, Jeffrey, stop hitting your keyboard. I can hear it. It's really loud. No, stop.
Kick him out of the call.
Get out of here. Okay.
Remove him.
So we just installed Axios, and if you want to use it, then you
have to pay a
can.
small fee.
No, you can import
You get to pay a large fee.
Woohoo!
Axios. Okay, how do you import Axios? You see, even I sometimes have to use Google to look up really basic things like how to use a package. It's fine. Import Axios from Axios. Okay. Axios. And let's say every time we add a task, we do Axios dot get, or let's say like I don't know, get, yeah. From HTTP google.com or something. Like, I'm just trying to show you how you can, like, use Axios inside your Vue project. And this, like, works for, like, other packages as well. Like, you can npm install something, and then you can import it, and you can do random stuff with it. Yeah. So, if you run this, or actually, let me just console.log this. So what I just did was, like, every time you press add, it's going to print something to the console. Bro, oh, right. You have to do npm run dev to restart your instance. Okay, cool. So if you refresh, now, whenever you press add, oh shoot. Alright, there was an error, but essentially Axios works. You can import Axios from Vue, and you can call things. And yeah, that's how you use an external package. So the remaining three of you, if you exclude Jeffrey and Sarah, if you have any questions, ask me. After this workshop, you can still ask me for questions. I'm pretty much always online on Discord, except when I'm sleeping. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for this workshop. I hope you learned something, and yeah, have a good day. Happy hacking. See everyone. Bye.
Happy hacking!
Hacking.
Yeah. That's so cursed.
Oh my
Hi
goodness.
guys, I'm Jay. I'm going to be doing the Vue workshop. If you could please go on your GitHub and follow along.
How do you sound so different?
It sounds like when you're inhaling helium. Like, a lot.
Talented.
Oh my god.
My true ability is being obnoxious.
Really?
Yeah, it's not securing sponsorship.
Wait.
Surprisingly.
What?
It's not securing. I think I got like one sponsor, maybe two.
That's pretty good.
Hey, we bought prizes, okay? You can't.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.